ECHELON. Signals intelligence refers to the ability to eavesdrop on cell phones, landlines, radios, and email. ECHELON was the name of the program that it was exposed in Australia when it was charged with being used for political purposes. ECHELON's surveillance power lies in its ability to, quote, tap all international and some domestic communication circuits and sift out messages which sound interesting. Computers automatically analyze every telex message or data signal and can also identify calls to, say, a target telephone number in London, no matter from which country they originate, unquote. According to the BBC, every international telephone call, fax, email, or radio transmission can be listened to by powerful computers capable of voice recognition. They home in on a long list of keywords or patterns of messages. They are looking for evidence of international crime like terrorism. Building on an original post-World War II alliance between the U.S., Britain, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, ECHELON had by the late 1980s expanded to include joint operations with Germany, Japan, and China. ECHELON was initiated under the legal premise that while it was not permissible for the U.S. government to monitor the conversations of its citizens without a warrant, it is not illegal for British intelligence to monitor American citizens, etc. Once the electronic take has been pooled, the respective agencies can have safe access to their own domestic intelligence because the Britons, Australians, or Germans did it, and not the home government. The primary operating agency for all ECHELON activities worldwide is the U.S. National Security Agency. When Boeing Corporation beat European Airbus in a major sale worth billions of dollars, the Europeans accused the U.S. government of conducting industrial espionage on behalf of Boeing using ECHELON or related technologies. Total Information Awareness, TIA. The Department of Homeland Security will be given access to all state and local databases, complete access to all banking and stock transactions, and all private databases on demand, including medical records. They will monitor and control all communications at state and local levels, as well as build an intranet for corporations. Local police agencies that receive federal subsidies, which are all police agencies, will in effect become intelligence-gathering units working for the federal government. Under the TIA program created by DARPA, the government is now monitoring almost all the activity of all Americans, including bank deposits, shopping, web surfing, academic grades, divorce records, spending, phone calls, utility usage, travel, virtually everything. It plans to track everything you do, employing face recognition software that can stop you from making a withdrawal at the bank or from boarding a plane. The government has placed all its faith in incredible new technologies such as Promise software and exotic weaponry systems that are just beginning to be unveiled. TIA plans to recognize you by your voice, by your unique body odor, or even plans to use, quote, non-invasive neuroelectric sensors, unquote, to read your mind. From the Washington Times. Congress voted to unfund the TIA office, but it was later reported that the project was going forward in different offices of the Pentagon in a shell game. Axicom is the lead company to provide software and pull together the information for DARPA's Information Awareness Office, headed by John Poindexter. Billionaire Jackson Stevens owns Axicom. Axicom had backed NATO Commander Wesley Clark for president in 2004. Jackson Stevens' company stole Promise software in the 1980s and is using it to create total information awareness for John Poindexter. Promise software under the name Genoa was delivered to DARPA 23 days after President Bush signed the Homeland Security Bill in November 2002. Admiral Poindexter, the convicted Iran-Contra felon and former Reagan National Security Advisor, said that Genoa provides, quote, tools for collaborative reasoning, estimating plausible futures, and creating actionable options for the decision maker, unquote. Negative public reaction led to Poindexter's latest project, Futures Markets Applied to Prediction, or Future Map, being ended. Investors using futures market analysis would predict the likelihood of a future terrorist attack. A correct prediction would yield a profit for the investor. In Washington, lawmakers, mostly Democrats, expressed shock and disbelief at a program which was a gross violation of privacy in direct violation of the Constitution. Congress eliminated the TIA office, but by 2004, it is reported that Poindexter's TIA effort had been transferred to U.S. intelligence offices. Congressional, federal, and research officials said the Advanced Research Project Development Activity, or ARDA, was engaged in similar research using some of the same scientists as Poindexter's TIA program.